Like all young people, I was a dreamer, but very shy and inhibited. I think it was because of the environment I grew up in. There was no encouragement for success, art, study, only hard work. However, from an early age, I already noticed some abilities, such as art for making plays, drawing, and dancing were also skills I had. I remember that in English my grades were very good, and I really enjoyed it, but I had no reference in my family, there was no dialogue for guidance showing me a direction and path to follow. I stopped studying in elementary school and started working as an industrial welding assistant. Since I already had a certain skill, I developed it well. I worked in that role, but it was very limited because I was still mentally blocked. My awakening happened little by little, gradually. I was never skeptical or disbelieving in life, thinking that I could ever live well, have an organized family, or doubt myself. Deep down, I always wanted that, but I had many negative habits that held me back and prevented me from achieving success in life. I also understood and comprehended that in order to have and achieve success in life, I had to apply and live a discipline that exists in the universe and in life, and that was the first step I took in my life toward the goals I wanted to achieve.
Okay, thank you for telling us a little about your life, but we have a lot to learn from your experience. Can you tell us a little more? You have a lot of skills, don't you?
I grew up in a simple and humble family. My mother was a housewife and my father worked in a metalworking company. I am the youngest of 7 siblings. I remember that in my home there was no guidance or encouragement to study. I did not have any outstanding role models who would draw attention to me. There were many difficulties and problems. I grew up as a very inhibited and shy child. I did not do well in elementary school. I studied until the 6th grade and then stopped studying. I could not continue. I had many emotional blocks. The most serious thing I remember was the shame of poverty, which made me shy and self-conscious. I saw other young people with new, good quality clothes and shoes, and I did not have any. I lived in a very simple house with no comforts. I wanted to have nice things, but I did not understand why my father worked so hard and could not afford to buy them. What was going on in my head was that I was poor and that was it. But I already realized that I had some unexplored qualities. When I was 18, I started working in a hospital. Soon, I received an opportunity from the owner of the hospital. I met a very special person who would have made me a great wife. I asked to leave my job and began to take actions that only made things more complicated for me. Then I had another relationship and also many problems. However, it was from this rock bottom that I began to wake up and mature for life because I was completely asleep and blocked. However, it was precisely in this situation that change and transformation began. Then, the awakening and the climb to a new life began. I had to take several actions, change my habits, transform my mentality and take new actions. That was exactly what I did. At the beginning of my marriage with my wife, it was very difficult. We lived in a single room measuring 4 by 3 meters. I was unemployed and only did some odd jobs to pay the daily rent and buy food. Every day it was a real battle to get the money for the daily rent and to feed myself. The 2 children were still very young. At that time I had already awakened my passion for reading. In one of my projects I was doing, I found a book that I still have a relic of to this day. The Miraculous Power to Achieve Infinite Riches, by Dr. Joseph Murphy. I found this book, but to tell the truth, I attracted this book to me because I had already started to work on my mind. But I was still starting out. This book literally opened my understanding. I discovered many hidden truths that I had never known, and that had never been revealed, when I started reading this wonderful and blessed book, which I consider a hidden treasure map. I got a good job in the area I had already started. Everything started to improve. We moved to a 3-room house. I started to see in practice that everything I was reading and learning and applying in daily practice was really working. And materializing, our relationship in marriage was also gaining more solidity and understanding. Things started to work in a more functional way. I was gaining more confidence and becoming firmer in my conviction with the struggles of life.